Okay, get your Be Humane wristbands right now. BeHumane.live. BeHumane.live. LIVE. That's how we live. That's how we're living. You wear your Be Humane wristband. Support what I'm doing so I can make more videos. These are actually only $5. And get more equipment, maybe do more Be Humane things, maybe get involved in some charities, I don't know. Or ACLU, some other organizations, nonprofits. And you wear these in your life so people can see them and ask about them. You can explain what your definition of Be Humane is. You can explain what your cause is, what you believe in, whether it's global warming, what's happening with the planet, black issues, Black Lives Matter, oppression, systematic racism, Indians, the LGBTQ community, whatever it is you're dealing with, whatever you think is humane. I believe this applies to all of that. So get your Be Humane wristbands. Again, I have a list of things I'm talking about, and the next one is immigration, which is very fitting. If you've been following the news or anything that's been happening in the United States as far as that's concerned, you've been seeing that families are being torn apart under the guise of national security. And I think that Jeff Sessions just came out and tried to justify tearing families apart due to some Bible verse. And I've known, unfortunately, a lot of Christians to do that. Christians, where they cherry pick things in the Bible and then they interpret them however they want to interpret them and use it for whatever their agenda is. And for people who behave like that, my grandma used to tell my mom, who would tell me, there's a special place in hell for people like that, who behave that way and just are inhumane, immoral, wrong. That's just really, really evil. To break up families for whatever your agenda is, whether it's racism, personal, whatever it is you're doing, to do something like that to another human being is insane, is inhumane, is immoral. I think it touches back on another video I made where I talked about cognitive dissonance, where how can you treat another human being that way? There's a lot of things happening with immigration. I'm getting tired of people trying to pass off their racism as patriotism. The thing that really gets me about it is I could almost respect an outright racist because they're telling you who they are and what they believe, and you know where you stand with that person. I can almost respect that more than a person who hides their racism and tries to disguise it as something else, where they say things like, "Oh, I'm not racist," and then they'll say something like, "We got to keep the Mexicans out of the country because of national security, because they're a threat." How is that even possible? How are they a threat? What are they doing? What jobs are they taking that you want? What are you talking about? They're actually contributing to society. And for people who say they don't pay taxes, that's BS, because with a lot of these immigrants and people who come here, taxes are already taken out of their check before they even get paid. So they're contributing to society. For anybody who has a brain and knows anything about anything, this country was first stolen from the Indians by immigrants, okay, the Pilgrims. And throughout history, the United States has clearly been a place where immigrants come for a better life. That's kind of been the dream of America. That's kind of been it's a beacon of hope. I can go here and make something out of myself and do something with my life that I couldn't do in the country I'm coming from. It's been a beacon of hope. It's been a place where you can dream, and dreams are very achievable. Whether small or big, they're all achievable. They're all possible. And so people come here looking for that, looking for a better life for themselves and their families. And you get, racist and people coming in and spewing their hate, division, lies, fake news, made up stats, just all kind of nonsense. And if you're, a compassionate human being, I think you would look at that and say, they're not hurting anybody. I don't know what the issue is. I have an issue with criminals coming into the country and doing wrong. Who wouldn't? Okay, but people coming here to look for a better life for themselves, I ain't got no problem with that, man. And if they're contributing to society and they're not causing any issues, I don't know what the big problem is, other than people are racist. And it's funny because, like I was saying earlier, people don't like being called that, so they disguise it as patriotism. I'm not saying all people who have issues with immigration are racist. I would say some of them are probably misinformed, got bad information. There's probably a litany of issues and things that they don't know about, and their opinions are skewed because they're not getting good information. Immigrants aren't hurting anybody, whether they're from Mexico, Syria. If we want to be honest, I don't know the numbers on this, but I have seen more white teenage boys hurt people here recently than any immigrant or terrorist. It's these homegrown terrorists, these white male teenagers. Not just teenagers, white men have been committing more crimes than I can see of any other brown person or immigrant or whatever. But we don't like to talk about that because it makes a lot of people uncomfortable, and that's bullshit. We need to talk about it if we're going to fix it and get better as a society, whether that's gun control, calling them terrorists, having honest discussions with people. I'll be happy when we can get to a place where we can have an honest conversation with each other about what is happening in our country, how we can deal with it, how we can make things better. The Statue of Liberty means something, it represents something. It is a beacon of hope. And what does it say on it? It says, not like the brazen giant of Greek fame, with conquering lambs astride from land to land, here at our sea-washed sunset gates shall stand a mighty woman with a torch whose flame is the imprisoned lightning, and her name Mother of Exiles. From her beacon hand glows worldwide welcome, her mild eyes command the air-bridged harbor, that twin city's fame. Keep ancient lands, your storied pomp, cries she with silent lips. Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses, yearning to breathe free, the wretched refuse of your teeming shore. Send these, the homeless, tempest tossed to me. I lift my lamp beside the golden door. Now, I probably just butchered that the way I said it, but that's beautiful. And I can see how that's something people can look at and believe in, and it represents something, and it means something, and I believe it still does. I think the election of Donald Trump, with it also being as bad as it has been and all the issues it's caused, I think it's been a kick in the ass as far as where we're at in this country. Who's here, what they believe. It's putting our country to the test. I think that is inevitably a good thing, because I think it moves us in the right direction faster. I obviously do not believe and agree with anything Donald Trump does, but I think that if Hillary Clinton was elected, it would have been awesome to have a first female president. I think people would have been able to relax and be like, okay, everything's fine. Crazy Donald Trump is gone, and we can go back to making slower progress. I think with the election of Donald Trump, we're having to make fast progress. It's like I said, I think it's been a kick in the ass, and we are getting a quick education in who we are as a country, what we believe, where we stand, what organizations are there, what do they do, how can we get involved. I think it's inevitably been a move in the right direction, having to face these demons as a country, because you can't make progress unless you face your demons and you face your fears and the struggles, in your life. And the election of Donald Trump, I think, has done that. And these Republicans spewing all their hate and all the things that they're doing under the guise of national security and God is madness. But their day is coming. I think the country is growing and changing and evolving in the right direction. And I think all these people and all their hate and whatever it is they're doing, their hate, their ignorance, I think it's all going to turn to ashes. And there'll be a distant memory here soon, hopefully. So that's it. I hope I said something helpful here. If I just regurgitated things, I'm sorry. But there you go. Be humane.